Hello, everybody. RBR LPCI Innovations here. And today, oh boy, I hate to say I told you so. A couple weeks back, I made a couple videos about how we need guardrails, cognitive and societal guardrails for AI, not just engineered ones. And a lot of people on different subforums or in different places, they were telling me, Rolly, you're wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong. We already have guardrails. And it just took a couple of days for OpenAI to come out in public and say that they hired a mental health, forensic mental health specialist to tackle everything that's been going on their end. And just 2 days ago, so it's Friday right now, just 2 days ago, the team at Anthropic, their social impact team, I believe, they came out speaking about this very issue, speaking about, the affectionate usage of Claude and how they use in some of the data that they have on it, and discussing some best practices. And out of that whole video, there are three people discussing, and I think that the one person that actually stood out to me as being most on point is Mr. McCain. So I'll put the full name somewhere in the description along with the link to the video. But Mr. McCain had a really sane take, because whereas the other two people were anthropomorphizing Claude, one of them even saying that Claude gave them objective advice, which is pretty concerning given that, like I mentioned in the last video, LLMs don't have an ontological basis or anchor to reality. It's anchored to reality. So if you call it objective, then it's a little bit concerning if you're a researcher and you're calling it objective, at least to me, right? But thankfully, Mr. McCain stepped in and did say at the end that, hey, one very important thing if you're working with this stuff is, one, know that at the end of the day, you're the only one validating the LLM on your end, right? And number two, to kind of check yourself and see what effect the LLM is having on you. So thank you, Mr. McCain. I think that your take on that whole video was the most sane one, and it was the one that people should listen to the most. Not that the other ones were not valid, but I think that when you're saying that, Claude could give you objective advice, you could be misleading people, right? And when you use terminology that's kind of anthropomorphic to refer to a tool, that's also misleading people. So, I don't think people do it nefariously. I just think it's, semantics, but semantics are important. And I think LLMs are teaching us that semantics are important. So the words that we use to describe these things matter, right? And again, that's one really good thing that LLMs are having in our society, a really good impact, is they're, highlighting the importance of words for us, which sometimes I think we gave up on it. I think that even myself, I used to make music when I was younger, and for some time I was like, man, you just got a vibe. It's all about the vibe. It's about the sound. And now that I'm older, I mean, especially since I've increased my LLM usage, I pick up on the words in songs a lot more, and I pick up on the words that I use. So if you use LLMs heavily and you're getting into prompting and how your words shape the prompt, I really encourage you to try to see how your words not just shape the prompt, but they shape you and how the music that you listen to kind of has an impact on you. I think that's really something really positive we could take from this whole 2025 environment where LLMs are ever present, right? So a lot of times people talk about AI like something that is going to automate everything and just going to render us useless. But I think when you start looking at the different ways that we could leverage not just AI itself, but the phenomenological experience that we have with AI, we could see that, hey, we really could use this to augment ourselves in the right ways. And I really do believe that. And I know that I kind of started off with one issue and I'm kind of just chaining things and going on to different topics, but I don't really care at this point. Some things about AI we have to be careful with. Like I saw in the first two videos, I'm not a guy that's against guardrails. I'm pretty much in favor of them. But I'm also not a doomer guy. I really do like AI. And personally, I think it's made me a better person. It's made me a more productive person. And I'm on the camp that, we really should be using this stuff for augmentation, not just for automation. Automation has its place, but at the end of the day, when it comes to like AI slop, that's, a recurring theme nowadays, I really don't believe that we should be using AI to increase the slop in society, but rather to fix our own slop, right? So if you're using your own AI, to generate slop, maybe you're not doing right. But if you notice facets of your life where you're being sloppy, that you could now polish up and not be sloppy, right? And have it polished up by yourself, and you don't have to pay somebody else to do it, etc., etc. Um, the barriers are lowered for you to not have to be sloppy, right? So I think that that's the coolest thing about AI, right? That's the coolest thing. I mean, I built 3 websites in like the last 3 weeks without no coding experience. One of them is basically a full application. It's not a homepage, it's a full application. So I really do believe that, the barrier for entry for a lot of stuff is lower than ever. The opportunities are kind of limitless, right? And yeah, you're right. Maybe in 5 years, the opportunities won't be limitless. Maybe everything will be taken over by AI. But at least, I can't predict what's going to be happening in 5 years. But I know that for the next 5 months, what I kind of want to do, and I know that it's definitely learning how to leverage what's coming, right? So I'm not trying to phase myself out. I'm trying to phase myself in. And, a lot of times when people think about AI, I mean, myself, right? When I've been playing with Suno recently making music, and as a guy that used to make music themselves, I'm like, man, there's not even a point in me making music anymore. That's diminishing returns. But on the other end, hey, if the future of music is going to be AI, people still got to prompt it. You still got to have a taste, right? You still got to have a taste, right? So, and you still got to have to know how to prompt it, how to do things. So, maybe there's no point in me going out and learning sound engineering again, polishing that up, spending all the money that I spent when I was younger. But maybe there is a point in, hey, there is this moment now where you're early on in something, you could leverage it and really learn, so that instead of getting diminishing returns, you're increasing your window of opportunity in the future, right? So, if you're watching this video, you're probably one of those people that are early on, right? So instead of seeing it as a doomer perspective, try to see how you could incorporate it, and how you could help the people around you incorporate it. Because at the end of the day, if you're kind of a doomer person and you're able to really empower yourself and others, I mean, this thing's gonna happen either way, right? If you're able to empower yourself and empower others, that's amazing. That's amazing. It's better that you empower yourself and that you empower the people around you than some gigantic multinational company, claim claim to do it for you, right? So all these are just some thoughts on AI. It just kind of stemmed from the idea of this Claude video that I told you guys that I was watching, and it did concern me, the anthropomorphism that I heard from a couple of the researchers. But overall, from where we were 2 weeks ago to where we are now, it's pretty good. I think we're taking the right steps. We are talking about guardrails. We're talking about the things that matter slowly but surely, and the affectionate effects of Claude. So soon we'll be in a better place. So we'll see. So thank you so much for watching. You've got my links for my website and everything else at the link below. I could talk a lot about more about my stuff there. I don't really want to talk about it in my videos. I like to keep this stuff dense. So thank you so much. Have a great day.